In this video, it will be a very short one, but it's an important feature that you have to understand in Blender. For your workflow, you will have to make some changes, some adjustments during making your final render. And what is important in this is to can compare. And what I like to do here, I use the render slots. So here you have a rendering here interface that is well done for it. So what you will do when you want to make a render, you go into this and you make F12 to make your render, or you go there into render and render image, okay? And you can see the shortcut is F12. So when you make here render, you will have a new window that will appear with an image, and this image will be your render. Good. You can close this image. It will not close Blender. It's just another window, but you will have exactly the same window here into the rendering tab, and you will see the last render. But let's say you make a change, okay? For example, you go there into the light, maybe on above it, and maybe you would like something with less or more light, or let's put 20, for example. Oh, 20 is far too much, but let's make 10, okay? You will have more light here. So now I make F12 again, and I have my new render. Okay, it will come after a few computing of the here of my computer, and here I can come back to rendering, but I did lose the other image, okay? So what is good in that case is to use here, you have the slot. You have the possibility to use the slot. You can see that you have some layers combined or things like that, but the most important is the slot one that you can play with. So what you will do, you will, before make your second render, okay, if you want to compare, you go to slot 2, for example. You make your change during, so there you come back to the original value that was 5. It was good to have something good, and you make your render. And let's say you would like another. So you see, you can select the next one, and just to make some experimentation. And it's very important to make this during implementation of new parameters. So for example, if I put power just 1 to have something with less light, okay, and I just go there, we will have a full chapter about lights for sure into the training, and I will explain you how it works. But basically we have a new render, and what is good now is that in the render tab you can go and select the slot, and it did keep everything inside. So it's very good to compare and to see, okay, maybe this one was good, this value was good or not, and depending on what you need. So the slot 1, maybe everything is burnt here, too much light, so we will not keep it. So, okay, we know that this value wasn't good. So it's important to keep in mind that you can make some directly into Blender, that you can use the slots to compare. It's very important and very useful during your render settings. And to save the image, it's important to save your image. So now let's say slot 1 was good, no, slot 2 was good, and you are happy with it, and you want to save this image. Okay, you go to here, image, and you just go to save as, okay, and you can save your render into your desktop somewhere. Okay, so you just select place here. I will save you this into using depth of field here folder, and you can choose the format. So if you want to not lose any quality of your image, the best is to use PNG. You will keep everything. You can use RGB or RGBA, black and white. BW is black and white, RGB is red, green, blue, and RGBA is red, green, blue, alpha. What is alpha? Is the transparency of the transparency values of your image. If you don't have any transparency value, for example, in your image, you can change it as RGB. But if you have some transparency values, that is not the case here. But for example, let's go and make an image with transparency value. So for example, we'll go there and we will make the film transparent here. Like this, we will see that the world behind the glass here will be transparent. So let's make a new render and maybe it will be slot 4 here, okay? You can see that here we have this transparency that is represented by the little squares behind, okay? So here we have another render in the slot 4. So I can go and make another image, save as, okay? And if I use RGBA, it will save the informations of the transparency. And I can, for example, add something different in compositing in the background here, okay? So I can use this to add another background or to make some composition, a new composition with an image. So yeah, it can be very useful to use transparency values for sure. Here I come back in the file view here, and then I save as image, okay? If you don't want to use the entire quality of the image and that you want to focus more on web content or things like that, so with less big images, you will play with the JPEG for sure, and you will play with the quality here. So be careful, the JPEG doesn't save the alpha value, so you cannot change any transparency into the JPEG files here. So the JPEG is good for sharing on internet, but it's not good for make really good quality stuff, okay? Because it's compressed, and so in the end you will have less quality. Usually the best is to save RGBA PNG, and like this you will have all the informations into the image. You can see that you have a lot of possibilities here to save some images. In most cases, PNG is the best to share with others. And sometimes you have to use OpenXR, EXR multilayer to save multi-layer files like this. It can be sometimes useful, but most of the time you will use PNG files, JPEG or WebP sometimes for web content. Okay, so that's it for saving an image here. If I save the image like that, okay, we are good. And now if I save the image like that, without the transparency, so without the A here, just with red, green, blue value, I will save as image, okay? And maybe I will change the name, so you can change the name for sure. Here I just put untitled 1 and save as image, okay? So now if you open your image into whatever image editor, it can be Photoshop or anything, the first one will keep this value and you can make a nice composition with the with this image, but the second one will be everything will be dark here, or with the image background that there is in Blender to make the nice sky here inside. But yeah, you cannot save the transparency, so sometimes it's very important to understand that. That's it for performing the first renders, saving images and comparing renders. It's very important for your workflow. So that's it for this video. Into the next chapter, we will start to discover lighting and render engines.